Good afternoon and welcome everyone to this pivotal session of the CSA 2024. I'm Sahawarat, or Nick, from the Faculty of Learning Science and Education of Thammasat University here in Thailand. And it is my privilege to welcome you to today's panel on seamless education in Thailand. In the next hour or so, we will explore a vision for an educational system that embodies continuity and coherence, and reflecting our commitment to evolving Thailand's learning paradigm. Joining me today are esteemed experts who have dedicated their careers and their lives to the advancement of education in Thailand. Professor Dr. Nongyao Nawarat, Associate Professor Dr. Anuchat Poungsomlee, and Associate Professor Dr. Sittichai Wichaidit. Together, we will dissect the current state of Thailand's education system, identify the joints and gaps that hinder a seamless educational journey, and discuss strategic initiatives aimed at transforming these challenges into opportunities for growth and innovation. So as for the introduction, in Thailand, as in many parts of the world, education has been compartmentalized, segmented into formal and non-formal systems, divided between central and peripheral institutions, and often isolated within disciplines and professional silos. This has led to a fragmented landscape where learners navigate through a series of disjointed experiences rather than a cohesive trajectory of growth and opportunity. So as we delve into this dialogue, we will explore how these divisions impact our learners and what it means to truly create a continuum of education, one that is as resilient as it is adaptable, as inclusive as it is diverse. So let's begin by understanding the landscape we are navigating as we set forth to bridge the gaps that have held back the true potential of our nation's educational system. So the phase one of our Enhancing Learning and Education through Knowledge Management Strategies project, which is, by the way, a research project that is implemented by the Faculty of Learning Science and Education at Thammasat University and is sponsored by the Thailand Science Research and Innovation Office. So the phase one of our project has provided us with a profound insight into the complexities of Thailand's education system. Our investigation has uncovered critical issues that demand our immediate and undivided attention. We have observed a profound lack of continuity and coherence within our current educational framework. The journey of a Thai learner is often fraught with disruptions characterized by gaps and joints, transitional points that are not clearly defined, making the passage from one stage to the next anything but smooth. This fragmentation has left many learners in Thailand adrift, struggling to find their way through a segmented educational landscape. So this is the overview of the challenge that we encounter in our first year of our project. So in our pursuit of solutions, we have pinpointed 4 key dimensions where these challenges are most pronounced. Firstly, the dimension 1, the joint between formal education and non-formal education systems. Here, learners stand at a crossroads, beset by uncertainty on how to merge diverse learning experiences into a cohesive path. The dimension 2, the joint between the central and peripheral education systems in Thailand has spawned unequal access to resources and opportunities, heavily influenced by geographical and socio-economic disparities. Dimension 3, the joint between disciplines and fields of study, where an overemphasis on specialization can overshadow the development of a well-rounded, interconnected body of knowledge. And the last dimension, the joint between the various parties driving Thailand's education and learning, where the absence of coordination can result in fragmented efforts and squander chances for collective advancement of our learning and education system in Thailand. So as me and my colleagues transition into the phase 2 of our project, it is our mission to confront these issues with determination. We aim to implement policies and strategies that not only promote seamless transition, but also advocate for a personalized learning approach. This approach recognizes that education should be tailored to the individual needs, interests, and abilities of each Thai students, focusing on nurturing competencies and skills rather than solely imparting content. So our findings from the phase 1 of our project have laid bare the gaps that hinder our students from receiving a personalized education, one that prioritizes competency building. So these gaps stem from an outdated one-size-fits-all model that fails to accommodate the unique learning trajectories of our students here in Thailand. So today our panel is tasked with the ambitious goal of deconstructing these complexities. We are here to set forth a vision for the future, a future where education in Thailand flows seamlessly and is as personalized and it is comprehensive. A future where our focus shifts from traditional content delivery to cultivating the diverse talents and competencies of each learner, ensuring that they are well equipped for the demands of the modern world. So together we will navigate these waters, steering towards an era where every Thai learner is supported by an education system that is as nurturing as it is empowering, a system that recognizes and fosters individual potential, preparing our youth for the myriad challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. So as for the dimension 1, the formal versus non-formal education, we all know that education is a lifelong journey, not limited to the walls of a classroom. But in Thailand, we have a rich tapestry of learning that extends beyond formal settings. However, there is a divide. Formal education is structured and credential focused, while non-formal education offers flexible learning opportunities that are often undervalued. Our challenge is to create a system where these two realms complement each other, allowing learners to weave their educational experiences into a coherent narrative. This means not only recognizing the legitimacy of non-formal education in Thailand, but also creating pathways for such learning to be credited and integrated into our formal qualifications. As for the dimension 2, the central versus peripheral education, geography should not dictate the quality of education a student receives. Yet in Thailand, like in many countries, there is a disparity between the resources and opportunities available in central regions compared to peripheral ones. This results in unequal educational landscapes. And to ensure equitable opportunities for all, we must address policy reforms that distribute resources fairly and initiatives that uplift peripheral education systems. So by doing so, we can start to close the gap, ensuring that every student, regardless of where they live, has access to a high quality education. As for the dimension 3 that we found in our first year of our project, in our ever-connected world, we know that the lines between disciplines are blurring. Yet our educational system here in Thailand often insists on rigid boundaries between fields of study. So we need to encourage interdisciplinary approaches that reflect the real-world intersections between science, humanities, and the arts. By doing so, we provide our students with a holistic education that prepares them for the complexities of life and work in the 21st century. So this requires not only curriculum changes, but also a shift in teaching philosophy to embrace the interconnectedness of knowledge. And finally, we come to the joint between those who drive education and learning in Thailand. For a seamless educational experience, there must be coordination among educators, policymakers, and industry leaders. Currently, we face challenges with misaligned goals and fragmented efforts here in Thailand. So to move forward, we propose creating structures that facilitate regular dialogue and collaboration across all levels of education. This will help align our collective efforts towards common goals and ensure that every initiative taken is a step toward a more unified educational system in Thailand. So now, let's take a moment to reflect on the pivotal insights and discussions I've shared so far today. We embark on a journey through the intricate landscape of Thailand's education system, identifying not only the challenges, but also the opportunities that lie before us. So in phase 1 of our project, we recognize the urgent need for an educational model that champions personalization and competency over traditional content-based learning. We have seen that our students crave an education that is tailored to their unique needs, skills, and aspirations, an education that prepares them for the complexities of the future with agility and confidence. So we have discussed the vital dimensions where our system here in Thailand must evolve, integrating formal and non-formal education, bridging the divide between the central and peripheral regions, embracing interdisciplinary approaches, and enhancing coordination among those who want to improve the learning and education in Thailand. But beyond these, we have underscored the necessity for a paradigm shift toward personalized learning, a shift that focuses on nurturing its students' competencies and preparing them for a world where what they can do with what they know is paramount. So as we move forward into the phase 2 of our project, we carry with us a blueprint for change, a vision for an education system in Thailand that is as individualized as it is interconnected. So our commitment to this vision is unwavering, and we invite all stakeholders to join us in this transformative endeavor. Together, we will continue to advocate for a system where every learner in Thailand can thrive, equipped with the skills and competencies they need to succeed in a rapidly changing world. So the dialogue continues and the work begins now. Now, I'd like to invite you all to engage with us further. Your perspectives and inquiries are invaluable as we continue this important conversation. So please feel free to ask questions or share your thoughts on how we can collectively work towards a seamless education system here in Thailand or elsewhere in the world. Thank you. So now is the time. If you have any questions or comments, please do so.
Okay, good afternoon. I am Adele Castilor from the Philippines, and I am so much amazed with your presentation because you are talking about the stakeholders, and you have also there the individualized instruction to the learners, and then we have also these holistic, holistic outcomes of your learners. So I am very interested on how did you do the process of these stakeholders as part of your management or in the curriculum and instruction when you're going to integrate this? Or who are these stakeholders? And do you think the effectiveness is really very applicable to the outcomes-based education? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. May I pass on the question to
Okay. You, from what I understand, your question is very much addressed on the fourth challenge. We see this kind of picture in Thailand right now or in the past 50 years. The main key player in our education is the government by Ministry of Education. They do everything. Although we have more than 30,000 schools in Thailand, but every single subject, not only curriculum, had to be designed and commanded by the central government, by the ministry in Bangkok. So we, through what we call core curriculum, that every school have to adopt, not adapt, adopt more than 70%. They have only 30% flexibility to create their own subject under a very limited time span. That is one part. The second part, we based on the design of our educational system on the philosophy of content based, like as Ajanon said before, and we believe that K-12 is the standard. So everyone have to go to from year 1 to year 12 before they graduate with a same rhythm, same pace of learning. However, from the study that Dr. Sahawarat mentioned, we found that the learning lifestyle of our young people right now is not the same, and the knowledge and the world is not the same. Career and professionalism at right now is very fragile. We still design our school, our teaching, our pedagogy based on the profession that we can imagine right now. You must be a professional doctor, engineer, blah, blah, blah. But if we look in the reality, we found that one child can have their own career, can decide their own career, and they have their way or mean of living. They don't have to be a person that a profession that we think in our generation anymore. The world is changing, and it changed very fast. So imagination of our young generation is different from our generation. So this is the role of educator to understand and cater that what we see the term personalized learning. So we try to release or how to say make it possible for them to set their own learning pathway, set their own learning lifestyle. They can learn anywhere, anytime. Coming back to from this imagination, we come to the reality and try to see that how can we escape or release from the control of the only one player, that is Ministry of Education. And we found the real evidence that there are a number of people outside the Ministry of Education that have a lot of knowledge, have a lot of project effort, and they have been done so many things throughout all over the country. We have a lot of civil society that working with young people on many aspects from environment, culture, and so on and so forth. And we have also in Thailand, I don't know whether I think that in your country you might have this, we call you the term entrepreneur. It's a group of young people who passionately working on educational system in Thailand from the different angle. But this group of people, they cannot get into the school directly. What I mean in term, not in terms of physical going to the school, but they cannot be recognized as part of the curriculum or part of the learning that the student, one person can earn. This is the gap that we think that we try very hard to close this kind of gap. It would be better if one person go to study at this company for 3 months and then they get recognized as a certain credit and they come and use in school for their own curriculum as well. This kind of transferable it comes with a number of mechanisms and tools like credit bank, credential system, so on and so forth, which we have to design in detail. And also we have to work on the perception or the mindset of both sides as well. This is I put in polarized thing. We have to work with the school people, the educator, the formal educator, that this kind of activity, this kind of experience are the real learning that should be recognized and accredited them as part of it's not different from study physics or mathematics in school because they can also learn mathematics, physics, biology in the field as well with other people. It doesn't have to come from school teacher always. And at the same time, we have to work with the civil society people that what are the limitations of a standardized educational system? What do they looking for? How can we explain to them in their own term? So this is the thing that we need to set up some kind of roadmap or collaborative scheme that we have to work together. This is one of the approach that we think that we can close the gap here. I don't know whether you can.
Yes, afraid that if I going to share your.
While we're waiting for next questions,
Oh, okay.
do we have any more questions, please?
Yes, while I'm waiting for more questions, I would like to share with Ajahn Anuchat a little bit more. In order to reduce inequality of education and equity of education in Thailand, there are so many layers to play with. I myself, I would like to say that, to keep the children to remain in their education or learning is not individual method. It's a structural constraint. For example, education is too expensive. Even though they wish to study, dropout is not voluntary. It's a compulsory. I think they have been forced, to leave. This, whether direct or indirect. So about too expensive or about they couldn't access material basis. The school is too far to go. Too far to go, too expensive. And the most importantly nowadays, we think, education, because 70% of curriculum decided by the central government, and only 30%, like living in a small space for any teachers, educator to create their own interests or the interest of the children. When I listened to the earlier panel, you said the interest of the children would come first. So in Thailand, we have only 30% of the time slot to think about that. Only 30%. So I myself, so I think apart from, to reduce the gap, in short, okay, because of it's not individual voluntary to leave the schools, I would like to address some kind of structural constraints. I think Thailand's seamless education could be possible. You have to, the central government have to be happy with decentralization of education. Not just resources, curriculum, knowledge. Have to be happy to take the children with multicultural, with various perspectives, not single perspective, single political standpoint, single dream, political standpoint, or single imagination about who I am, something like that. Okay, the central government, have to be very, very happy with decentralization of mindset about what education supposed to be mean to the minority and to the periphery or peripheral children. So, but I could ask a little bit, yes. About a structural constraint. Yeah.
While you listen to Dr. Sahawarat, you might think that we can imagine whatever we think and what sort of evidence or what kind of mechanism or movement that you will drive this kind of make this dream come true. I show you one example that we think that is quite strong in terms of evidence, and it quite relevant what we are trying to say here. There is one school right here in Chiang Rai province, next to Chiang Mai here, in Chiang Khong. We just visit them last year. The school located in a village with two kind of crop. Is rubber tree that been promoted by the government. It shouldn't plant here in up north. It should be elsewhere, but they are rubber tree, the whole area. There's no other kind of business. They have very minority. They have about 10,000 people there, including uh, ethical children as well. So the school serve about 700 students in school. The students come to school. After COVID, the principal of the school and also the school teacher over there found that there are quite a number of students likely to drop out from the school because of various reasons. Quite a number of them cannot come to school because they have to look after their grandmother, grandfather, because they live with the grand. Their parent is in Bangkok. So there's no one to look after their grandparents. Some students cannot come to school because they have to work somewhere to get money for everyday living. Some students can come to the school with no passion. They come to the school but they don't want to get into the classroom. Or some of the students come to school, they get into the classroom and then they sleep all the time. You see, some of the students, let's say, we talk about grade 7. Some of them come with the problem of pregnancy. Yeah, all sort of things with drug and everything. So the school principal and the school over there don't know any method or any mean to handle this kind of situation. Only teaching normal students, the 600 of them or more than 600 is a big burden already. How can they especially look after this group of people? But they are very worried because these are the future of the village, of the country as well. So they quite nicely come up with the second system of education at the school. The school principal, he's very brave. He challenged the system. They survey the whole school student and identify who have this problem. They come up with almost 40 of them, so that they can talk to every single of them. So they allow this student to work, to stay with their parents, and for those who want to come to school but they don't have passion to get into the classroom, so you stay out of the classroom but you stay in the school. It's okay. You're pregnant, we look after your baby, but you come to the school and we have someone connect to you. So one teacher has been assigned to especially look after these students, monitor them all the time. The only thing that they do is that try to connect these students which are very vulnerable, try to connect them, try to make sure that they not disappear from the system, because once they disappear, it's very difficult to come back to the system. At least we can identify, we know the parent, we know the grandparent, so they have to come up with a different design of learning for these students before they the degree like K-12 to this student, which is very, very meaningful to this student. It's a big license to have to survive in the future. So the school set up this system to help this student. They send the picture, the video that they work with their parent. So we take credit because you work with your parent. You work at the company. You get daily employee. So you take picture and send it to the school, and we give the credit. And every now and then you come and have a class together and learn something a little bit more from what you are learning, like in every day. Which this kind of practice is not quite fit with the mainstream curriculum. So this is the thing that this kind of effort, we as a people who look from a macro view, we think that if we can come up with a good system to help this school principal, this school to come up with this kind of system, connect people who have knowledge, who have capacity from outside to help these children who have this pupil, it would be a very good, because we cannot also that make any kind of system that no guarantee that this student learn something or use their own capacity or building up their own capacity as well. These are the example that we think that it is the way that we would approach to 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 broaden or to reconnect the new system or to accommodate. Because if we look for a larger picture, total in Thailand, we have the problem of declining population. We now have fertility rate minus now, and we have less young people. But at the same time, we found that the number of students who are drop out from the school is very high. Right now, we have more than 100,000 young people who are drop out from the school.
And it's quite surprising because many of them, most of them came from underprivileged background. They lack languages because we are teaching with Thai standard. Curriculum language, something like that. But many of them, their mother tongue is something else, So it's quite difficult for them to access education with the language they are not familiar with, or the language they don't use in daily life. I think we know the language. And then from the language, as a result of language difficulty, reading ability of the children in Thailand is so is a big project and leading to other science, technology, or other subjects, because of the weakness of reading in Thai, in Thai language, Central Thai language. I think that's why it could be considered as a personal of a group of children, but it can be considered as class structures or ethnic structures that their culture is not counted into Thai central education. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Please.
I really appreciate your case study that you described. And I'm wondering if you folks have thought about how you will be able to take that more broadly. You mentioned it at one school or in one place, but how to do that more widely. I know in our country, our teachers feel very overwhelmed, overworked. So what you're describing of all of this extra personalization, while wonderful, I wonder how do you have the resources and the how to actually make that happen on a broader scale?
Oh, this is also the thing that we are in the process right now. We start a big project trying to go into that school and try to support them and understand and set up a good system for them to make sure that this can be replicated into other areas. We also have some other model as well. We found that there is a group of people in Kong Tei slum in Bangkok who are helping these young poor kids with this kind of problem as well. And that come from a different angle of law as well, because we have education, how to say, horrible legislation. Yeah, like so the act, we use some kind of condition with that act to work, and we also found that there is a another example that try to bridge within the school, try to bridge the mainstream curriculum with the vocational curriculum, because in Thailand we separate, no, the mainstream one, what you call Sai Saman is just the normal mainstream and vocational always been recognized that they are the third class of educational system. Those who are stupid or dumb go to vocational, and good students go to mainstream.
General education and vocational
And
education.
this school try to accommodate and change within the system, change the current curriculum, try to accommodate experiential learning and professional learning into the curriculum, and with some sort of connection between these two departments. Now the student can come to school and the main curriculum has been changed, and the total student, the whole school use experiential learning. They learn mainstream subject through real practical. They have agriculture, they have barista, coffee shop thing, and all sort of entrepreneurial thing. So the student can earn both mainstream certificate and vocational certificate, and also they take money home as well while they come to the school. These are the example, but we also need a lot of research, a lot of knowledge to understand the system, because this is just we don't want to romanticize this thing, but we also found that the other thing I forgot to explain to you, the vulnerable group of students, that one of the phenomena that happened is that because of the value that we highly recognize science, mathematics and science student uh, clever than art humanities student, also make the curriculum very rigid, very heavy, very strong, and too much for our students. And this is come to another problem that there are quite a number of young kids don't want to go to the school because they get bored of the content that they've been taught as well. Because the number of subject, the number of content is not relevant. They cannot imagine what kind of these are the theory that they're going to use in the another 40 year in life, things like that. This is the push factor as well. Oh, okay, sorry. Please.
Thank you. The issues you describe are issues that have been faced by educational institutions for well over a century. John Dewey and Scott Nearing, 100 years ago, wrote basically about quality of this problem in the US, and their solution mimics exactly the solution that you have found here in Chiang Mai. The problem is, and it's a severe problem, is the world is now 100 years or a century advanced. And the dilemma that every country faces is particularly those that have a top-down defined curriculum, is how do we train students for a world where 60% of the jobs that they will have in their adult life do not exist today.
Yes.
So the dilemma is who decides on that curriculum and who gets to have that say, because unfortunately, in almost everywhere, the people designing the curriculum are the wrong people. They're old people of a different generation. They are not, and they do not listen to the millennials, Gen Z, or Gen Alpha, and that's where the dilemma is. I wish I could give you a good solution, but it's a very complex problem.
Yes.
But historically, the one you talked about has been seen in every country, and the solution is this experimental learning piece, and it's recognition.
Yes. Thank you. I cannot agree more on what you say.
Yes, and I will say the teacher has a lot of work to do, and actually we believe that teacher is a key person to connect student learning and student life. So when we think about student learning, we most of the time we think about classroom, we think about school, and most of people believe that learning happens in school and the teacher could be responsible for that learning. But actually, when we ask students, what is the most meaningful learning in your life? Most of the time, the student answer is not related to the classroom. It's not related to the school. So this is a gap between education in the classroom, student learning in the classroom, and student learning outside the classroom. And we believe that the teacher can make this gap closer and make a seamless education. We have been working in the project called Thai Teacher Agency. We have the belief that most of the teachers believe that we have they can do the best for student learning, and most of the time it may not conventional practice in school. Most of the time it's not people have doing in school. They have to initiate something new, but connect what students have learned inside the classroom to the real world, into student life. Actually, I just show you some pictures that the example of what they have done. Okay. So this is a teacher agency network, and may I answer your question about how we do in the country. So now in the Thai Teacher Agency project, we have many groups of teachers around the country, like in the northern part, in the northeast part, the southern part, central part, and many teachers, even they focus on some educational issue. So they think about how to create the new platform of learning that connect informal and non-formal education, connect between this disciplinary, connect between the people that sometimes do not work in the educational system to work together. Okay. This this is the example. When we look at this photo, you might see that like the student study in the forest. It may look like the typical field trip of the student, right? But actually, this forest is a reserve forest. That means they have to reserve this forest for environmental issue. But in the reality, locals continue use it and sometimes overexploit. And this forest is the area around the student house, around the school. But students do not aware about that. Do not think about this is very important for their life. They study something else. They study something that the central government have them to study, but not the forest around the school. So the teacher in our project have to take courageous and have to have the courage and creativity to bring students to study the real issue in the society. Maybe it's related to the Professor Hoffman talk about cultural relevance pedagogy. But in Thailand, they need to have the courage, they need to have the bravery to do that because the wall is very high to bring the student outside the school to learn the real thing. So this is one example that the teacher connect with the people outside the school and design learning experience together to connect the gap between formal and informal. And when we talk about the real world problem, we not just teach about the physics or science or art separately. We need to combine, integrate everything to understand the situation, to come up with the solution. Okay. And we got some of the example that the teacher brought students to the real life and study a lot of things is not taught in school. I really would like to talk about this photo. It's from the teacher from southern part of Thailand. This is the issue in the province that this is the community beside the sea and they would like to fight for the marine resources because they have to fight against the industrial development and coal power plants that happen in the southern part of Thailand. So teachers collaborate with the local to design the learning activity for students to aware and realize about the importance of the marine life. So they can continue the ecosystem, they continue ecology, marine ecology in the park. It is called the I think I say it right. Is Kyotaku paint making from Japanese tradition. When we use the ink, it's not from the support to have the paint making to look at the the how the sea life look like. So they integrate science, art, and social issue have students learn about what the how diversity of the sea living in their home is very uh, very rich, and it will be uh, destroyed if there is an industrial development or something is, that can do not aware of this thing. So it's related student learning in school and real life happen in the society. So we try to connect those teachers around the country to have the idea and the solution and evidence for we can. It's possible to do seamless education. It's possible to connect what students have learned in school and student life.
We have 4 5 minutes. Let me emphasize that the design of te- teacher agency network movement in Thailand is have some sort of background that, as I mentioned to you, that educational system in Thailand was designed and under the central government, and it deployed to everywhere, everyone in Thailand. And we found that the thing that it come from the centrally design is the power relation. The central government have a very strong power over every single detail of teaching and pedagogy in the classroom, which is at which this kind of environment has been very much suppressed the way that educational system should be. And we think that if we need a creative classroom, we need to reduce the fear of the school teacher. The school teacher have to be encouraged or empowered to think out of the box and do their own style. Not only talking about they have to accommodate the local content, the local situation into their curriculum, because they have to serve the people out there. So the design, so the teacher agency network project, we think that we might not have any kind of power or strength to fight with the central government, or it might we might not win. So, but we think that we if we still have some hope, the main key to change the thing is to help or support the school teacher. If we can uh, empower them, uh, allow them to do something different from what they been taught, that would be a very useful. So that is the bottom line, to make them not fear to change. And we found that when the teacher change, the energy within the class or outside the class had been changed as well. Just only energy, just only one single word, it can make the children have different life or different attitude towards school, towards classroom, towards their learning. That is one thing. So we do very hard to help our school teacher to come back to their own inner growth. We not training them with any kind of technique, teaching technique, that whatever. We try not to start with that. We start with themselves, come back, uh, connect to their own value system, connect to their own passion why they want to be a teacher. And we found that this is very powerful method. Once they come back, they can stand up, they can do any kind of technique. If we have nowadays everyone use board game as a learning tool. The teacher for mathematics, physics can use board game as a tool for in their class as well. But they have to come back to their own stand first. And the second thing that we support them is that to connect them with their friend within the region, then they can support to each other. You might call PLC or whatsoever. Just connect them. And then once they connect them to each other, the good thing will come. Thirdly, we try to challenge them that you are not the only. You cannot be a teacher anymore. This is not the century of being good teacher. You have to be a good teacher, but you have to be more than that. You have to be coordinator, you have to be connector, you have to be agency as well. This is why the term agency coming in here. The school teacher, this is a big demand for them, no? But they have to be a curator of the whole community development. They have to be a connector with different kind of people that they come to support and help them. And this is the way that we do with our school teacher from people from outside.
We have a very quick question,
Oh.
and then you have a minute to respond.
It's actually not a question. I just wanted to say that I was working as a teacher trainer in Thailand some years ago for both primary and secondary. And I think the problems you're talking about are not unique to Thailand. They are sort of worldwide, but something that Thailand does have are amazing teachers, and I've had first-hand experience. So you have a very good foundation to really find a solution that we can then adopt. So thank you very, very much for sharing.
Okay, well, would you like to respond at all to that? Or perhaps you can just leave it as it is, because it's a lovely compliment. Would you like to?
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for all for your participation and thoughtful engagement today in today's discussion. And it has been an honor, for us all to share this platform with you all, and for me with distinguished panelists. And I think our conversation today has been a testament to the collective wisdom and dedication that thrives within our academic community here in Thailand. The perspectives shared and the questions raised and the strategies proposed today have brought us closer to a future where every learner in Thailand can navigate their educational journeys with confidence and continuity. So as we adjourn, I encourage each of us to carry forward the ideas and inspirations from this session into our respective fields of influence. Let's continue to collaborate, innovate, and drive change as we work towards an education system that is not just seamless, but also equitable, inclusive, and capable of preparing our learners for the dynamic world that awaits them. So thank you again, and I wish you all a wonderful continuation of this conference.